Hey, 7th grade, this is Mr. Barnett, and I was looking through my videos and realized that I had made videos, but not one specifically for you. So I wanted to do that in this chapter. We have been talking about Indian removal. We've been talking about the fact that President Andrew Jackson decided to move a bunch of Indians from the East Coast over to the Midwest, from states like Georgia, North Carolina, Florida, and Alabama, and Tennessee, all the way out to Oklahoma. Tribes like the Choctaw, Chickasaw, Seminole, Creek, and Cherokee, who were living in those states, are now being told they have to pick up and move from where they live and move to Oklahoma. I don't know how you would feel if someone just came in and said, by the way, you don't live here anymore. We're going to move you, and we're going to move you 1,500 miles, 2,000 miles away, and the only way to get there is to walk. So pack up your stuff, because you're moving. And so the Indians didn't really, were not very happy about that. Made a little map so that maybe you can make a lot more sense of it. See if I can get it to work here. So places like Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee. By the way, these are very tropical places. These are places in the world where things like palm trees and all kinds of, it's warm most of the time. And they moved from here all the way over to Oklahoma. Oklahoma is not tropical. Oklahoma is more like a desert. You can grow things there, excuse me, but it is not necessarily the same climate. It snows there, and of course it doesn't snow in places like Alabama and Georgia and Florida, but it's just different. And so these people were moved all the way out to this place they'd never seen before, never been to before, solely because the government told them they had to move. And so they called it the Trail of Tears. They called it the Trail of Tears for two reasons. Number one was because, again, they were forced to move. You've got to go. You can't stay here. The other reason is because they walked. There were old people, there were very young people, and many of them died. And so because they were told they had to move, and so many of them died, it's called the Trail of Tears. So here's kind of a map of Oklahoma, and you can see that it's out in the middle of nowhere. So for many, many years, they called it Indian Territory. And so the United States government told the Indians that they could live there, and nobody would bother them. They would be fine. You can live there, and everybody will leave you alone. Until April of 1899. And I told you before the spring break that I had a rant regarding Oklahoma and the United States government and how we celebrate that whole situation. So here's my rant, okay? By the way, for those of you whose parents went to the University of Oklahoma, let me apologize in advance because I'm going to rant a little bit, okay? 1899. So the United States government said to the Indians, 1832 to 1836, 1838, listen, you can live in Oklahoma and we'll leave you alone. Everything's fine. The problem was the rest of the country started to fill up. There's settlers now in all these other states. And so we told them in 1899, April 22nd, 1899, that we're now going to take Oklahoma. So they lined up around the border of Oklahoma. You can see the border of Oklahoma. They lined up in Arkansas and Missouri and Kansas and Texas. And they said, okay, you can't go in until noon on April 22nd, 1899. So we made this deal with the Indians, but now we're breaking the deal. But you white settlers, you can't go in before noon. Well, there were people that went in sooner. So they called them Oklahoma Sooners. Okay? So that's why the University of Oklahoma, or Oklahoma University, is called the Sooners. They're called the Sooners because people got into Oklahoma, what was called Indian Territory for many years, before they were allowed to. So we were actually celebrating the white settlers who said the Indians could live there, then they lied, then they stole, and now they even cheated by getting there too soon. So every Saturday between Labor Day and Thanksgiving, you'll see the covered wagon running around the inside of the Oklahoma University Stadium called, and if you can see it, it says the Sooner Schooner. And they drive this thing around to celebrate the fact that white people moved the Indians from the east to Oklahoma and told them they could live there. Then we told them they couldn't live there. Then we told them, by the way, we're going to come in 1899, and there were people that even got in there too soon. So that's where the idea of the Oklahoma Sooners came in. Again, those of you whose parents went to the Oklahoma University, I apologize. But that's history, and that's the way it is. Anyway, just want to make this video and let you know what's going on. Many of you got your homework in, and you're doing a great job. Some of you still need a little bit of work. So please, please, please get that in. And hopefully we'll get over this thing soon, and I'll see you very soon. Be safe. Be healthy. If you have any questions or any problems, certainly send me an email, and we'll correspond that way. Have a great day.